then you'll
Yeah,
have
and another
good
one thing
work.
just to add on to that. So speaking of sacrifice, it's I remember I used to even cut classes. I just said my mom was able to see this episode that I used to cut classes for photography.
Hi guys, you're welcome to the 9th episode of the Creator to Creator Talk Show, and today we are privileged to host Mr. Kibazi Pius, who is a visual artist and a professional photographer and one of the absolute best in the nation. He has a lot to share for those of you who are interested in joining this industry, so please sit tight and listen up.
If there are boundaries, I will try to knock them down. I'm latching on, babe. Now I know what.
Hello, Mr. Pius. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really a great honor to be here. So
I hope you had a safe journey coming.
yeah, I did. Yes.
We are privileged to have you on the show, and let's begin. So please tell us a little bit about yourself and the decisions that really influenced you or inspired you to become a photographer and a filmmaker.
Okay. I'm called Kibazi Pius. So I'm a visual artist. So who uses a camera to express himself. So basically, how did I start? You ask. So I think it's been a journey now. It's been like 7 or 8 years now. So yeah, so it's been a long time. So that's how I started with I just had a love for pictures. So the face I used to like to see on people's faces when the moment I processed that photo, give it to you, that smile. So I decided to take on this journey in life. So that I keep on seeing that face. Yes.
It's a good thing because most people live by smiles. I myself, I think I tend to say smile is my weapon. So there you have it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that brief introduction of yourself, of what you do and everything. So before we go any further, for those people or for a person that does not know what photography or what filmmaking is, please tell us what is photography and what is film.
Okay, nice. Photography, it's just everybody I think has their own definition. I feel it's like if at all I happen to say definition of life, you have different.
Yes.
So to me, it's photography is I feel it's like the art and science of just creating photos. That's it. Same with film. It's the art and science of processing and taking or creating motion picture for film. Yeah. So
That's simple.
yeah, it's very simple. Everybody has their own definition. So I think to me, it's nothing is wrong, nothing is right, so long as you understand it in your own way. Yeah. To me, that's how I define it.
So literally you're trying to tell us that photography and film, they go hand in hand, and you could decide maybe to do photography and everything will come up in one thing.
Yeah. So okay, I shouldn't say okay, they're both separate careers or two different things, but I feel everything needs each other. Everybody. Okay, looks like every single thing need to be like together to complement each other. So it's like bread and butter, bread and margarine or anything. So it's like you can't be a good filmmaker if you don't really have that eye, or the photographic eye, the angle, the right exposures, the right, everything. So still, you can't be a good photographer minus the film.
So literally they go hand in hand.
They go hand in hand, yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for explaining that to our audience. So for someone who wants to start out in this business or in this industry of filmmaking and photography, I hope you now know that to become a photographer or a filmmaker, you need to incorporate these things together. So thank you for that explanation. And, this leads us to our next question. So, Pius,
Yes.
I believe you have somewhere you started from. how did you find your first paying project and how did it make you feel?
Oh, yeah, so actually, what was my first project
Your very
and how it
first.
feels like. So my first paying gig, it was more of I just had to go do portrait company profiling. So I just went there super nervous. It's my first job, like super, like people trust you, the entire corporation trust you to make their corporate, portrait. So to me, I went there, did the work, left, but I was like, yo, I just wish I could do like the work. So I wasn't really like psyched until I got my paycheck. So actually that was the first thing, oh wow. So after all doing this, I got my first paycheck. So it was really exciting for me to get paid for something I like to do.
So, Mr. Pius, what is the photography and filmmaking industry like, and how are you finding it now?
So how am I finding the photography and the filmmaking industry currently now? To me it's really a hard industry to make it out there, because you have to learn whatever current trends of doing things. You have to current softwares, you have to learn those things. You have to learn new equipment. How does it work? For you to keep yourself on the level, or to be able to keep up with the competition in the industry, because the competition is really high. There are lots of kids coming out every single day, but how are you able to stand and stay relevant? So I feel it's a very tough industry. If at all you're not really willing to spend sleepless nights to maybe review or read through and learn many things, I feel you're better off staying in bed, because it's really hard out here. I shouldn't even sugarcoat it. It's hard out there, trust me, because you have to spend sleepless nights for sure to learn certain softwares and to learn new techniques of doing things. So it's really hard out there. But all I can say is the industry is tough, and to be able to keep up with the current competition, you have to stay focused and learn more and keep the discipline as well. So basically that's it.
As a visual artist and a photographer at that, and from what I've heard, the absolute best in this business of filmmaking and photography, I believe there are some challenges that you've come across. So what are those most common challenges that you or think, or you may know, that have come along or you have faced in this line of business, and you want to advise on someone out there wanting to start up in this business to make sure that they don't make them, or to be able to deal with them when they come across them?
Okay, thanks. I'll start by addressing the last one you did. So how are you able to avoid the challenges and what challenges and
the common mistakes,
common mistakes and all that kind of stuff? Yes. I'm a common believer of you have to do all these mistakes to learn. You can't avoid them.
Yes, we learn
We learn by mistakes. So if I told you did know that a cup, when it drops down it breaks, you would have lived your entire life without breaking a glass. But where's the fun in that? So you can't avoid all these challenges. You have to face them. And the biggest challenge I've had is gear is expensive, camera equipment is expensive, and it's really expensive. And the skill itself, it's really expensive to develop, because you have to spend a lot of sleepless nights, to learn, to shoot, to learn to edit, to learn to light, to learn to do many things, So to me, those are the biggest challenges. So you can't avoid them. You just have to attack them, You can't run away from them. You have to hit them hard all the time. So you can't avoid them. So no, I can't really advise someone, you could avoid this for becoming great. You should, go to bed and sleep.
How do I handle it if I come across it?
Okay, yeah, sure. I think it's the best way to handle challenges is just calm down when everything has ever been done. So any person who's starting out right now, you're going to face a lot of challenges out there. So they are really, starting from gear. You're not going to have a portfolio of your own. You just have to second shoot for someone else or work for free to get it done, for at least to have a few photos for your portfolio, to make it work. But all I can say, just keep on pushing, just keep on pushing and pushing and pushing, If at all it's all you love, it will work. So just keep pushing.
Thank you for for that explanation. So I believe, yeah, like we all say there, we learn by mistakes, and we are bound to meet challenges or anything that could hinder you to go on. So since you've really said it now, it's upon that person to keep going and to push themselves, as long as you love these things. So as long as you keep pushing, you'll get there, and eventually you will win, right?
Yes.
Okay, so thank you. Yes, now how do we overcome these challenges, or how does someone who really want to start up in photography and filmmaking, how do they overcome these challenges?
Okay, yeah, sure. So thank you so much. So whoever is starting out filmmaking or photography, or you're studying it as a hobby or a business or anything, so the only way you're gonna overcome these challenges is not even I think, but I feel you have to do more than expected. You have to do everything, work hard, make a few phone calls, at least call a certain photographer or you look up to, at least call them, reach out to them, at least they call you to second shoot for them, at least be an assistant out there, at least be able to see how things are done on actual sets, so that you're able to do your own jobs or book your own jobs. So yeah, so you have to like it so much to make it through.
It's so exciting how you say that if I want, or if I like, or if I'm interested in this business, I have to make sure I network with the people that are dealing with the same stuff that I do, let's say photography or filmmaking. So for someone who wants to start up there, now you know how to overcome this challenge if you ever come across it. So Mr. Pius, there's a lot of competition in this industry, especially here in our Uganda today. And everyone who holds a camera feels or thinks they can become photographers or they can become filmmakers. What makes you or your work stand out in this particular business?
What makes me stand out most of the times is my keen eye for detail. So I make sure I spend that extra time to at least, even if it's one concept, I make sure at least I have 3 of them at once. Even if the photo brief says this angle, eye level, I'll make sure I have like 4 different ones. Down one, the top one, the side, the view, other views, different angles. So that I'm able to have more extra content for that extra eye and keen detail for that. What really makes me stand out.
It's thank you. It's quite interesting how you put your third eye to capture all that detail. So I think it's a very good approach. So thank you for sharing that with the audience. I'm hoping someone who wants to get into this filmmaking and photography, they should also copy the third eye extra to detail. So thank you very much for that. How did you get as good as you are now in this filmmaking and photography industry?
Yes. Yeah, so I got okay. I don't feel like I've attained all the skills. So still I'm on the journey, learning more skills day in, day out. So I keep on learning every single thing, every single new stuff. So how did I get this good? So it's been a long way. So lots of sleepless nights actually, lots of learning and unlearning lots of things, because there are times whereby you get to learn a certain thing, and then after a period of time you see it doesn't really make sense, and then you have to unlearn that and learn more stuff. So it's been really a long journey and a lot of learning, sacrifice, whereby you have to sometimes have to go for what should I call it, like empty stomachs, just to sell for a good lens you like. You see maybe across the street you want to sell for that, and there's a new camera on the block, you have to upgrade to that. For the current you have, if there's a new memory card, it's faster than the one you have, so you have to save. So which means you won't treat yourself really, you won't take yourself for a treat, so you have to save. And so all those sacrifices, you have to be able to work in the sun, like a lot of heat and a lot of bad weather. You have to sit on the border late nights, get back home, edit, sleepless nights, and until you deliver good content, and until maybe it gets to a point whereby it's now
You
easy.
feel. So, thank you for explaining how good you are, and for that person who wants to begin in this industry, how to get good. Sacrifice. You have capitalized it. You have to sacrifice your time for maybe wanting to go to bed early, sacrifice your wanting to go and get some nice food, to make sure you get a good lens, get a good camera.
Yeah.
So it's all about sacrifice, people. If you want to be as good as he is, sacrifice, save more, because you will need a good lens, you need a good camera, and then you'll have it.
And another
good
one
work.
thing just to add on to that. So speaking of sacrifice, it's way back, and I remember I used to even cut classes. I just hope my mom doesn't get to see this episode. That I used to cut classes for just photography. Just run out there, shoot things. Despite the fact I wasn't getting paid, but I just wanted to get the skill. So that sacrifice for me to risk my grades. Like tomorrow you're having a paper or a test or an assignment you need to hand in, but you in the night you're busy running around all over Kampala just to take photos. So so that's a big sacrifice I feel, because I had to put my education in the line. So
It paid off, because right now you're really giving out good work. So that was very good.
I don't wanna let go.